Hello and welcome to Business Matters, the show about people behind businesses that help make Tacoma a great place to live and work. I'm your host, Mike Wark, and on this episode, we'll turn the page and visit King's Bookstore in Tacoma Stadium District. Then, Andrew Fry supports a special kind of hacking on Tacoma Means Business. And today my guests are Topher and Julie Farrell, who are the owners of Tease Chocolates. Welcome.
Thank you.
I couldn't think of a better topic to talk about for someone who enjoys food like me than chocolate. So you are a new chocolate store in Tacoma, handmade chocolates from bean to bar or whatever you make. Tell us about your products.
Yeah, we do produce chocolate from the bean. It's a small percentage of what we do right now. We're hoping to have that be the complete business within about a year.
But everything you do is handmade.
Everything's handmade in-house. We do truffles, chocolate bars, toffees, stuff like s'mores.
Wow.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
So you got, if I walk into the front door of your business, I'll see all kinds of different chocolates to choose from.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you also have those bars that you weigh, big chunks of chocolate?
We do, yeah.
So if I want chocolate, this is the place to go.
Yep, absolutely.
So where are you located? Where is this new place in Tacoma to get really great chocolate?
We are right next to Stadium Thriftway.
Okay.
So sort of between Thriftway and Morel's Dry Cleaners.
Okay, kind of by the coffee store there and across from the restaurant?
Yeah, across the street from the bank.
Okay, sure. Yep. So you're right there on the main drag. So, high school students who like chocolate can come to you for dessert.
Absolutely.
That's great. It'll keep them alert, right?
Yep.
So this is a new business, but you've been in the business for a while. You started as an online and wholesaler, is that right?
We actually primarily started doing farmers markets.
Okay.
Started on Vashon a few years ago.
Vashon Island.
And started doing little wholesale accounts here and there, little small business, and moved to Tacoma last August and decided it was time to open a shop.
So it was mainly your business started out because you got started thinking you like to make chocolate and you realized you had a talent for it. So you sampled your product to see how it would go over at farmers markets. Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, we actually developed a lot of the stuff that we have based on feedback that we got at farmers markets.
Direct feedback.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Was there any online component at all before you opened your doors?
A little bit. We tried to stay away from it. It's very difficult to ship chocolate.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So another thing for people to know if they're interested in getting into the chocolate business. So what made you decide to open your doors and open a business going from farmers markets into bricks and mortar?
I think we were just sort of at that point in time where it was either leap or don't. We just really wanted to do it. The timing was probably never right. I think we just decided we should just do it, make it happen.
Why Tacoma?
There were a few factors. My business that I work for had moved here, and we actually did look around in Seattle initially. We're from there. That's where we got our start. We decided to move to Tacoma and check it out, and the community has just been great here. We do a couple farmers markets here as well, and have for a couple of years. It just felt right. We found the right location at the right time. So,
well, you know, Tacoma has a long history of chocolates, and back in the early 1900s, Mars started here before it went out of business and moved. And of course, Brown and Haley. There are several. They were here because the climate was cool, but that was before air conditioning was invented. So I'm glad to hear that Tacoma is still a good place to do chocolate.
It is indeed. Yeah, we've been really well received by the community here so far.
So people like chocolate in Tacoma.
Yes.
And especially good chocolate. Now, I'm curious about how one goes about developing an expertise in making chocolates.
I think for us, it's been nothing but trial and error.
And something, did it start as a hobby?
Yeah, it did.
So who's the chocolate maker?
I make the chocolate from the bean, and then she makes all the confections. So I'm basically making the raw material for her. Raw material
and confections, which is the final product. How did you get into that?
It really, like Topher said, started as a hobby, and I was in between jobs and thought that it might be a good time to learn a little bit more about the professional side of it. So I did that through the École Chocolat in Vancouver.
The which?
École Chocolat in
What is
Vancouver.
that?
It's a school for chocolate makers, basically.
Okay.
It's all the coursework is written by current chocolate makers or people who used to own businesses. And just decided to continue to pursue a professional career in chocolate making. And
What do you call somebody who makes chocolate professionally?
a chocolatier.
A chocolatier.
Yes.
I love that term. So you're a chocolatier. I guess you
I
are
am.
too.
Sort of. I'm
Sort
a
of.
chocolate maker, I
He's a
think.
chocolate maker.
Okay. It's good we have these terms
Yeah.
distinguished. So did you actually go down to Vancouver?
No, you can take some classes through their school online.
Uh-huh.
And with my first class, I decided to do it online, and did a few internships after that.
Where did you do your internships?
Through Coco Nymph, who is in Vancouver.
Uh-huh.
Did some industrial chocolatiering in a major chocolate producer in Milwaukee.
Wow. You
And
actually went to
then-
Milwaukee to do that?
Yeah, well, that's where I'm from.
Oh.
So.
What did they make in Milwaukee? What in the industrial?
Yeah, very large scale things like turtles and
Oh.
that go into tins for Christmas and things like that.
So and then the one in Vancouver was probably smaller scale.
Much smaller,
Mm-hmm.
very very close to how we are now. I think just a small shop.
It's fascinating to me that one can learn a business like that online. You were just interested in it, you learned
Yes.
about it, decided to get professional level, and were able to do that through internships and online education
Yes.
and practice. That is fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So when you work with the chocolate, if I'm going to have an industrial kitchen, and you're making a confection, do you melt it first? Do you have to get it into a condition that it's moldable? And then you put the pieces. What kind of equipment do you need?
That's definitely a part of it, melting. Once you have chocolate to work with, so it would be after Topher makes his chocolate from the bean, it would be ready for melting and molding and
Tempering.
Tempering. Okay. And but then there's other things. There's the stuff you put inside the confections. You have to learn how to do that too. That's not chocolate, is it?
It is.
It's all chocolate?
We tend to fill our truffles with chocolate ganache.
Okay. So who are the providers for the raw materials?
For the beans themselves?
Well, yeah, there's those and the truffles. Let's start with the beans.
Yeah, the beans, we recently found a company down in Portland
Okay.
that works directly with small farmers.
And where are those farmers?
So the beans we have right now that we're working with are from Ecuador, Madagascar, Trinidad, and Tanzania.
So are you developing an expertise in beans and where they're grown and their quality?
I'm trying. Yeah, I mean, they're all different. They all have vastly different flavor profiles.
From the different farms or
yeah.
countries or
Yep,
farms?
from different regions. Yeah,
Regions.
each different farm. I mean, different soil can affect it. The age of the plants can affect it.
Sounds like wine.
Yeah, it's very much like that. And the reason that we like the guys that we're working with in Portland is that they work directly with the farmers. So there's no brokerage or anything like that. It's a direct to the farm. We get to see at least photographs and images of where they're coming from and the farmers. And hopefully someday we'll get to go and meet the farmers as well.
I'd like to go with you.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun. It's interesting. There's a company that makes pickles in town, and she does a great job with that. And they also have their production. They actually have their production facilities with a similar sort of organization in Portland area. So it's interesting. There's that kind of a company that you can rely on to do that kind of work for you. So you work with them to import your beans.
Yes, we get the beans from them. We just started working with them shortly before we opened. So yeah, we just went down with a truck and picked up a few hundred pounds of cocoa beans.
Grapes, beans.
Yeah.
Whatever. So what do the beans look like? Do they look like coffee beans?
They're about 3 to 5 times larger than coffee beans.
Okay.
Different varieties will vary in shape and size.
And what do you do with them once you have them?
First thing you do is roast them, if that's what you prefer to do with them. We do some unroasted varieties as well. And then you crush and winnow them. So you
Sort of grind
basically,
them down?
you grind them into a nib, and you have to get the husk away, which is called winnowing. So they go through a sort of a strange, half homemade piece of equipment
Wow.
that separates the husk from the nib.
Okay.
Then from there you stone grind them. And it's just a big
stone grinding.
It's a machine with a stone plate
Extra stone.
and stone wheels.
Wow.
It's granite, and it just spins and spins and spins. And that's where you add any kind of sugars or anything too if you're going to sweeten it.
Okay. And that's the raw material. And so do you tell him how you want the chocolate to come out? What kind of sugars and all that to put in?
Never.
Never? So he's the master of making the chocolate. And then on your end, the stuff you put in the chocolate, what do you call that?
Well, filling.
Filling.
And it can be made from ganache. Some people would use something like a fondant or...
So I don't know what a ganache is. Is that?
It's a composition of chocolate and cream and butter and some type of flavoring, typically.
Do you make the ganache?
Yes.
Okay, so you get cream, sugar, and you make those things yourself. That's part of your expertise.
Yes.
What other materials? Where do you get your raw materials?
Oh, I do like using local beer or...
Really?
Yes, spirits, cooked with Copper Works, distilling in Seattle, and Rogue Brewery.
Down in Newport, Oregon.
Yes, I also like using local honeys, and boy, yeah, if I can get it locally, I will, and then just start my search, expand my search outward.
You even have vegan chocolates?
Yes.
Wow, that's good to know.
Yes.
That's fascinating. So, so we mentioned the ganache. What are the other ingredients that you have? Or the fillings?
Oh, we do a Thai peanut butter cup.
Wow. Does that have lemongrass in it?
It's got a full-on curry paste. In
Oh,
it,
curry paste.
which has
okay.
lemongrass.
Yes.
So yeah.
Okay. Amazing. So what are your favorites? What are the best sellers?
I think the Bee's Knees, which uses Rogue Brewery's hazelnut brown ale, is very, very popular, and local bee pollen.
Our ghost chili caramels are
ghost
really
chili caramel.
popular as well.
Okay, you're making me incredibly hungry. So that's always a good sign. Now, the other thing that is interesting about your company is you do custom chocolates.
Yes.
Tell me about, you've had weddings order special things. What was that about? How many?
We've done weddings for a couple of hundred individuals where they've ordered anywhere from smaller ones for 20 to 30 people up to a few hundred. But yeah, we'll do anything. Parties,
what do they
events.
tend to order?
A lot of it is they'll have had something of ours that we make, and they have an idea of sort of a version of it, or they want some slight variation of it.
And you can make it match the wedding colors or whatever?
Sure, yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. So you've just recently opened your doors right there in the Stadium District. So you're just off and running, which is really exciting. We love to have people on the show and encourage people to come try it out. So that said, any idea what to look for in the future?
We're definitely going to do some classes.
Great.
We've done classes in the past without having our own kitchen, so now it'll be nice to be able to bring in a larger group. We're going to do a class on how to make truffles, how to make those ganaches.
Wow.
And yeah, aside from that, I mean, I don't think we have anything other than constantly expanding our product line.
Well, I'm looking forward to trying out at least a few of them. I might have to start running a few more laps to do it, but I'm willing to do it, and I'm glad to hear you may be preparing future generations of chocolate makers to expand Tacoma's reputation as a chocolate city.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thanks for being my guest today on Business Matters.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Join us after this break when we come back with Andrew Fry. In this edition of Tacoma Means Business, Andrew Fry says hacking makes perfect business sense.
One of the things that I absolutely love to engage in are hackathons, and we have them quite frequently over at the Institute of Technology at the UW-Tacoma. Whether it's Microsoft coming down and we're doing hackathons around building mobile applications, or even some gameplay. Startup Weekend, which I talk about frequently, is actually a hackathon, and you're hacking together a business in 3 days. So I don't want you to let the term hackathon throw you into thinking this is just about technology. This is about innovation. And what I want to suggest that you try is to take your company and do an internal hackathon. Often hackathons are big, broad scope things where everyone comes in to do something. But in this particular case, you are taking time out of your business year in order to create a safe environment for innovation and creativity without repercussion. Because that's what hackathons are about. It's like we have a theme, but that theme isn't necessarily too interpreted so that it opens it up to other things. We want to solve this big problem. All right, in technology, we want to solve cyber crime and cybersecurity. Or perhaps we want to create a new and inventive food truck restaurant, but we don't know where to stop. It's just a very broad theme. And then you let them at it. You let them form their teams, pitch their ideas, innovate as best they can, and at the end of this 2 to 3 day marathon, they present those ideas and prizes are given. That's a hackathon. And if you can imagine for your company, what does this mean to the employees? It's an opportunity to get together and work as a team on something that provides value to the company and yet is not a threat to the individual job or performance. It also often creates very valuable ideas for the company to execute on. Now, as I mentioned, the hackathons aren't necessarily new. Way back when I was out in Cleveland and I visited KeyCorp, the bank, and participated in multi-generational product planning sessions. They were hackathons. There were things that were being used to determine what is it that the bank could then produce as a new product within their portfolio. And again, no ramifications. I didn't work in the banking industry, but they knew I knew a little bit about some of the online access to things that were coming up. So when you do one, think of a good time within the company so you don't falter in regards to your business. So I would suggest, here's one as an example, Thanksgiving week. So why Thanksgiving week? Well, you've got 3 days, right? Thursday and Friday, most people are gone. And during those 3 days, how often are people working on other things to move the company forward? In general, those are 3 days that might be perfect to bring everyone together in the morning and say, let's talk about expanding our market. That's the theme. And everyone get together, pitch their ideas, form your teams, and come up with a proposal at the end. Actually, the reports back from employees who do these internal hackathons, they love it. They actually think it's a great time. In fact, the one report back is that they tend to want them to do them more often. So it's up to you to keep them special. In other words, don't do one every month. Maybe do one twice a year, in which case it becomes an event. People have energy, they're excited, and they enjoy the participation. So how about those prizes, right? At the end, might as well give prizes. But I'm going to suggest that you not give prizes of too great a value. When I say value, I mean cost. You know, the worst prize you can give in something like this is a gift card to an outlet. Instead, make it something personal. Make it, I participated in this hackathon or winner of this hackathon under various prize categories. Most original, most amazing, greatest impact. And then make that something, maybe handmade, that you can give to the employees that participate. And believe it or not, that is a sense of value they'll feel and be connected greater to the company for doing so.
Thanks, Andrew. For more tips on helping grow your business, check out Tacoma's Community and Economic Development Program at tacomameansbusiness.com. When Business Matters returns, we visit new owners of an established business in the spotlight. Today in the Spotlight, let's sit back, relax, and check out some great books at King's Books in Tacoma.
I'm Sweet Pea Flaherty. Welcome to King's Books.
Just off St. Helens in the Stadium Business District, you'll find King's Books. The store's become a community icon, sponsoring special events, providing a community gathering place, and serving as the largest independent used and new bookstore in Tacoma, all managed by Sweet Pea.
King's Books has been around in Tacoma for the last 15 years, and I took it over about 5 years ago. We have mostly used books in store and then a selection, a hand-curated selection of new books. We do a lot of community events as well.
The bookstore has a large inventory of new and used books covering 5,500 square feet of floor space.
One of the things I like about being both a used book and a new book store is that we get the latest releases as well as just people's collections of books, which can be, on any topic.
Key to the business model is the store's open floor plan designed to create an inviting atmosphere for reading. Tables and chairs are arranged throughout the store to serve as customer reading stations.
So it's very fun. It gives a little variety because we have books in kind of every field.
Sweet Pea feels he has his fingers on the pulse of what his customers value in a selection of books.
All of the staff is passionate about books, and so we hand sell books to people. We get to know customers and kind of find things that they're interested in.
And he believes they understand the commitment this bookstore has to the community.
We do a lot of community events in store, from author events and poetry events to we have a big letterpress steamrolling event every April, the Ways Goose, and we have a number of different book arts events and art events throughout the year.
Staff at King's Books say they're passionate about literature. Contemporary commercial books are available, along with a rich and varied menu of quality reads.
All of our booksellers are really passionate about books, and so we love hand-selling books and finding books that maybe people hadn't known about before.
Sweet Pea also offers ebooks for sale on the King's Books website, helping span his customers' literary demands from print to digital media.
Yeah, people like that they can get books either in store or in a couple days.
And then there's the bookstore cat.
We have a resident cat, which is people are very, very fond of Atticus.
Sweet Pea says the furry staff member literally has a literary impact on customers.
A lot of people come just for the cat time and sit and play with our store cat Atticus. He's definitely a feature of the store.
King's Books is managed by a staff of 4, 5 if you include Atticus.
Yeah, so there's myself full-time, and then our store cat Atticus is also a full-time employee. And then we have 3 part-time people here at the store.
Sweet Pea adds that he looks for employee traits of customer service, literary knowledge, and love of community.
Each of them have different literary backgrounds. All of them are book lovers. Some of them come from writing. I think what we all have in common, obviously, is our love of books.
A major attribute of King's Books is its community focus. Sweet Pea opens the doors and extends invitations to Tacoma book clubs, literary events, and major community projects.
We have 7 different book clubs here in store, from the Classics Book Club to LGBTQ Book Club, a Vegan Book Club, a Science Fiction Fantasy Book Club, so a little bit of everything. We have a bunch of events that happen monthly in store, so there's different ways to be involved.
Sweet Pea always has an eye on the future.
It is King's Books calling, and we have your 3 books in, so stop by anytime.
Tracking inventory and identifying trends to help diversify his offerings to keep up with customers' reading needs.
I think we constantly are striving to have more new books. We're trying to get about 50-50 used and new so that people can get any book that they want in stock. Just continuing to be a community place and kind of finding fun ways to engage the community in literary arts.
Sweet Pea says this community supports small businesses like his as well as the arts. He says he's right where he wants to be with King's Books.
Tacoma is a really supportive community for local businesses. We've had such great community support. So I think for us, it's just, there's no question that Tacoma is the place that we want to do business.
That's it for Business Matters. Join me next time for more insight into the Tacoma business scene. See you then.